On this episode of eBEFOREi Video Reviews, I take a look at Robots in Disguise Warrior Class Skywarp and compare him with Warrior Class Starscream, and then let you decide if you should pick up Seekers that don't have giant wings behind their heads. So I'm going to start this off in their robot mode, which I don't normally do, but they look so unbelievable. I was about to transform them for this review, but I'm such a big fan of this mold. Starscream and Skywarp look absolutely great together, and if you're a collector of Robots in Disguise figures, or even if you're not, I find that these fit pretty well in just about any Transformers collection of the deluxe Warrior Class scale. And as for a new type of Seekers mold, I'm so in love with these guys. So good. Let's take a look. I didn't really do a Starscream review on my channel, I don't think. So that being said, we'll take a look at both of these here. So good. I mean, nice, sleek profile. Yeah, you can see the hollowness here in Starscream's arm because I have his arm kind of twisted that way so he can use his null ray. The backpack kind of sits itself in there, so sleek and flush, really nice. And there's different things you can do with the wings too, we'll get to that. But I'm continuing to go around and around, as Rat would say, round and round. And yeah, they just look amazing. Now, as far as the wings are concerned, you can do some things with them. I prefer them like this. I think it kind of looks like a cape, and it's cool, and I dig it that way. It's your toy. If you buy, well, this one's not yours unless you steal him from me. But when you buy your own Seeker, you can do what you want. You can bring the wings out a little bit. That's kind of cool, and it really kind of gives you that sleek abdomen look for the figure. You can also bring them out more like kind of a bat wing, which kind of looks cool. If you have to have it up over the head, you can do that, which looks ridiculous, but you can. You can also drop this down a bit. That's on a dual hinge, and when we get into transformation, you know, this might look good on my camera because I'm full, just like front onto the figure, but in person this looks kind of terrible because you got all that space, and I don't like all that space. But that's just me. So what I would do if I were you is I would collapse that back, pull them down, and I think you've got a really nice looking figure there. Now let's get into some close-up details of these guys. I wasn't even sure if the face molds on these two guys were exactly the same, and I believe that they are. Let's take a side-by-side look. The mouth seems to be different. And the chin, maybe. Yeah, am I crazy? Are they exactly the same? I don't think so. I think the mouth is different, but I could be wrong. So, yeah, I think it might be a slightly different mold. Onto articulation, since we're in robot mode. His head moves left and right. No up and down. No side to side. No funky dance moves. He's just, you know, that's what he's got. The arm does rotate all the way up and around, unobstructed. You can see on the shoulder area, there's no banging plastic, which is cool. I was a little worried about that if you have his wings down in like cape mode, if you'd have any restriction in the arm, and you really don't. You also get the arms that move up like that. You also have a ball joint in the elbow, and the fist moves back because of transformation, but that just looks weird. Like I had Starscream, you can take his arm and bend it like that, and then he's shooting his null ray right at your face, which is kind of cool. I also like that even though the cockpit ends up on the back, this is the other half of the cockpit, so it's not really a fake chest or a piece that's supposed to look like the front of the plane when it transformed. That actually is a piece of the front of the plane. So, very cool. But there you have the figure. There's no waist articulation. You do have a ball joint right there in the leg, so you get all the usual leg spots. There's also a leg swivel right there, so you can get some good bend there. And then the knee should peg in, kind of like all those Combiner Wars figures. It does peg in at the knee, and then it has a knee joint, but you can unhinge that and get a little bit more movement if you need to out of your figure. So lots of posability. Oh, and the feet also bend forwards and backwards. And that's all you get there. Let's transform Skywarp, because we can, and that's partly why you're here. So we're going to take those null ray cannons and take them off of his arm. Just like that. Alright, so here's where things get cool and maybe a little bit tricky, however you want to look at it. We're going to come around to the back side, and we're going to unhinge, a dual hinge here. We're going to pull that down. You want to make sure that you get clearance over the back here. And then this is going to pull up and out of that hole. So there was the hole, out of the hole, and you're going to take it up and cover Skywarp's head like that. So see what I mean? It is part of the cockpit on the chest. It's not a fake piece by any means. Alright, so then you're going to take the legs and you're going to unhinge it, and again, like a lot of those Combiner Wars figures, and then just move it up and put the feet like that, just point them down. We'll see this from a different angle. There's the hinge right there. We're going to take that out, bend it all the way in, and then at that point you can take the legs and peg them together like that. Okay, so now you want to come around to the back of the plane, kind of get the wings out of the way. This is going to hinge all the way down, and this is kind of weird because at first I thought behind the feet that these were like landing gear wheels. I even thought that they span, but I think that's just me being weird. I don't think they move. That's just part of the hinge. But you're going to cover that with this piece right here. And you see these little tabby looking things, and you see those holes up there. You're going to introduce them to each other. Play some soft music and tab them in. And by the way, before you do that, unlike what I just did, I tried to marry them up too quick. Go ahead and bend the feet in. Then marry them up. And just make sure that they're fitting properly in the slots. And you're good. So that part's done. Yay! Now we're going to come up to the shoulder bits, and you want to pull on that, and it's actually tabbed in super tight. There's one tab here which is not tight, and there's another tab in the front that is very tight. It's that one that you can't see. It's that one right there. So you're going to untab that, bring this all the way down, and then you're going to tab it into that hole right there. Can you see that? There it is. So just give it a good push. Mine is really a stiff joint. There it goes. Do the same thing on the other side. Just bring it all the way, dual hinge, and tab that in until it kind of snaps into place. Alright, from here you're almost done. Now what you want to do is rotate the back of the arms so that your null ray port ends up on the bottom, even though you're not going to use that because you're going to plug it into the wing. But just an easy way for you to remember. And go ahead and fold the hands inside as well. Rinse and repeat on the other side. Turn. Fold in. Alright, and then you're going to kind of angle this because you'll note that right here you've got kind of a slot, and see those two things right there, and they're all going to kind of fit together. So, like that. Let's see, my peg came out there. Boy, is that being stubborn. There. Do the same thing on the other side, although more elegantly this time. Don't be like me. Don't make transformations seem hard when they're not. Just peg it back there. Then come around to the front. You're going to take the wings, and you got a tab right there and a slot right there, and you're going to slot it in and rinse and repeat on the other side. And there you have a completed, oh, almost. Want to come around to the bottom. Now, there's the bottom of the arms, so you could put the null ray here, but then your plane's going to sit on that like landing gear, and it doesn't need that. So what I do is I put it right up under the wing. Don't do it. Just be more graceful than me, please. So we're going to put that in just like that. Do the same thing on the other side. And now we have a fully transformed Skywarp. And through the magic of movie making, he's going to be transformed too in 3, 2, 1. I lied for a quick second. I'm transforming him right now. But I forgot to point out on Skywarp that I love how this plastic comes up and gives you that classic Seeker shoulder armor bit that comes up. Very G1, and I'm so happy that that's there. On to the rest. There you have the top-down view of both of these Seekers, and they're just gorgeous. They look so good together. Let's get a closer look. Whenever I use the word gorgeous in my reviews, you know I'm kind of gushing about it. But it is. It looks so gorgeous. It's amazing. I love the way this transformation really comes together. There's no clear robot underneath, which is really pretty amazing. Most jet transformers, when you flip them upside down, they're just ugly. They're full of robot bits. This just compacts so sleek. I also like how the hinge on the front of the plane actually kind of becomes a landing gear. Doesn't move, there's no wheel on it, but it's pretty cool how it does that. Again, very, very nice. There's no really articulation to speak of, so this is it. But let's get as close of a look as we can so you know what you're getting. So there's the cockpit. Again, all that yellow comes together nice against the gray plastic. Dual Decepticon symbols on the wings, and I'm a big fan of symbols. I say that on a lot of reviews, but anytime I get a giant Decepticon symbol on a Transformer, I'm a happy camper. Coming to the back, there's decent in-plastic molding. You kind of see the way that the jet wing flaps would be. Cool, they didn't have to do that, especially on the Warrior class RiD figure, but there's a lot of neat molding here. The feet, you know, you can see it, but it kind of looks like a thruster, so I'm not really worried about that. On the bottom, his hands tuck away pretty nice, so that's cool. A lot of screws and movable parts. A lot of fair complexity to this figure, but again, both modes look so nice that I'm not complaining. If I had a desire, it would be that Starscream would also have Decepticon symbols, but as you can see on the Starscream mold, he doesn't. He's kind of a plain looking... It's definitely Starscream. Starscream colors. The gray, the red, the blue, all come together pretty nice. Null rays on the bottom. Same exact figure as Skywarp that I'm showing you. But I just think that the paint here looks really, really nice. The purple on the wing, just really, really beautiful. So what's my recommendation? Well, you're not missing anything. I'm telling you, go pick these guys up. If you see Skywarp, he's amazing. Grab him. To me, he's been a little harder to find than Starscream, but, you know, your stores may differ, so check them out. But if this mold looks good to you, you're not a stickler for having those giant wings in the back of your Seeker, you like a sleek jet, and you like a really nice-looking robot, too, then these guys are for you. Thanks again for watching eBEFOREi video reviews. If you want to subscribe to my channel, just hit the subscribe button, and I really appreciate that, every single one of you. You can also find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. I've got a Facebook group. All of that will be in the channel's description, so click down there and click to your heart's content. Anything you do to support eBEFOREi, always appreciated. Thanks again. We'll see you back here again real soon. Bye.